All right, Kristen. Now hear me out. So we've all been through multiple jobs. So my question is, what is the worst job you've ever had, and why was it so bad?
Ah, um, hmm.
I mean, I feel like for me, like from my perspective, I feel like you haven't had that many jobs. Like you're
I
pretty loyal to companies.
I'm very loyal to companies. I don't know. I think that's just something I pride myself on. Worst job and how? I feel like all my jobs have been like somewhat like good in their own way. Um, but I would say during the whole security debacle that I'm going through, there's probably been a couple of sites that I've been to that I just didn't really like.
Mhm.
Um, Even the Facebook, like my Facebook site that I'm at now, like it's not horrible. It's not at my worst site I think I've been to, but it's definitely like not my best. um, at least it used to be. Um, I would say my worst place I've worked at so far probably was hmm. Damn, that's hard, bro. That's hard. I have a lot of good memories with everybody. I would say probably my first security spot they sent me to. And the only reason that is because the odd hours I was working, it was kind of a not so like for sure
Mhm.
schedule. Um, they were just kind of just throwing. They were just trying to give me 40 hours at that point. So I was working
No,
night
no, I
shift
figure.
sometimes. I was working days. I was working mid shift. It was just kind of like, hey, this is what we have. Take what we got until they moved me to a more permanent site. Um, so I would say that probably every job I feel like has its pros and cons, but I feel like that was kind of
Oh
the
yeah, for
biggest for
sure.
sure.
And
Um,
obviously, like the people you work with can make a bad job kind of good.
Decent,
Like if
yeah.
you, yeah, if you're like joking around, having a good time with your coworkers,
Mm.
you're more likely to stay in that I feel. But for me, I probably say a job that I only had for like 3 to 4 days.
Talk about what job was this?
I was a car salesman for like a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit.
dead. Did I know about that?
I think so. I think I briefly told you about it. I try not, tell too many people about it.
I can't picture
It
you being
was,
a car salesman. That's funny.
yeah, it was horrible. It was right after like it was after Bucky's, and I love Bucky's. Like the people I worked with, just the schedule was 6 to 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously it was like it only paid $13 an hour, so it wasn't like unless I moved up, which I feel like I could have if I stayed, especially because they were expanding a lot. Um, but I was like, I had just graduated college, so I was like, okay, well, I can't just stay here. I had to like, well, I felt like I had to like go on and do something and look for something like better, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, what kind of prompted me to leave Bucky's was I got like my car. I was like, oof, $310 payment, monthly payment. I better find something that can like pay this. Uh, so yeah, shortly after I got my car, I left Bucky's and I saw the local dealership. It was hiring is like 3,000 guarantee for the first 3 months, and then you'll be based off commission. I was like, I know people like I know if you're a car salesman, you can make good money,
Yeah, you can make really good
but you
money
have to have that
if you're.
personality.
You gotta have the personality and you gotta have that
You have to
drive
have that person.
to
Yeah,
actually like do it.
yeah, and like I was like, okay, well maybe let's just see how it is. And I went and like, bro, they don't even train you. They just kind of like throw you out there. Um, I talked to maybe like one person, two people the whole time I was there. I was like, bro, like I left and they probably didn't even notice I left. So it was pretty bad.
It's very doggy dog world, and I
Yeah,
don't.
just like yeah, I mean even from the outside perspective, like just going to a car dealerships, like, bro, they attack you, they go after you, and so like imagine on the other side of that where you have to like
Go attack
you know
people and
so
grab.
yeah
Go attack.
before other people can do it too. So it's like not only do you have to be aggressive with the customer, you also have to like kind of step on your coworker's toes essentially just to get the sale if you want
Shit,
it.
ain't coworkers. Those are opponents, bro.
For real, honestly. So it's for me. I feel like that was my worst job. All the other jobs I really had was kind of retail. And retail obviously has its ups and downs. But that was definitely the job that I felt most out of place.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
definitely I've went to a car salesman like job interview type thing. They had one of those like group interviews where they just put like
mhm.
have like first of all, anytime there's a group interview, just know it's gonna be a crappy job.
Yeah, if
They're
they
like
hire you immediately,
yeah,
crappy job.
they're just like, hey, y'all are basically hired, but here's the things that you're kind of, they'll be like, well, what they do is they'll be like, okay, well, you have a quota to meet every month. If you don't reach that quota, they'll cover you minimum wage, and so you're still gonna make money, but then in return, you still owe the company that money that you did not make. So on your next sale, you have to pay the company back before you get a certain percentage of your money and get the commission, and plus some of that still goes back to the company. So it's like you could really put yourself in a hole. So there's certain months that I believe they call them code months where you sell nothing, and they're like you'll probably get no customers or anything. They're like, but what, you're still gonna get paid, but if you're under your like your little quota or whatever, then you owe the company. So a lot of times when they say you have those good months, they want you to sell a lot and or sell as much as you
So you
can so you can kind of cover yourself for those
okay.
cold months. And yeah, it was just I was like, oh no, this is just too much just betting on myself, which I'll bet on myself, but not in this position. So
No, no, I definitely get you. It's crazy.
it's definitely good for somebody who doesn't really need the money at the time and they can kind of like be okay if they're making minimum wage or whatever it is, and they can build up that clientele or whatever. Like you get that one person and they tell more people to come to you and
Yeah, there's
referrals.
definitely a learning curve for sure. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like obviously there's a lot of successful car salesmen out there, so it's possible. It's not for me,
Yeah,
not my personality. Um, you know, to each their own, but hard pass.
very hard pass.
Yeah, I mean, comment below, let us know what your worst job was and why it was so bad. Interact with us. We'll comment back. So that's all I have.
Okay. I was trying to say something else about the jobs. Never mind. Because I was really thinking about my other jobs, and I was like, obviously, they all have their pros and cons, like I said. And I was like, man, I worked at Six Flags. Six Flags
That
was
was
great.
awesome.
Six Flags was great, but like pay was horrible. At least at the time, pay felt great.
For real.
When I was able to collect a $300 check a week, I was like, oh, I'm balling. But
And
you
you over
had
here like working overtime and stuff.
I was working day to night and like happily doing it. Like it was wild. At that time, it was just like, hey, it was my first job, and made a lot of friends doing it, and was just happy to work with certain people. It was just a great experience. Management sucked, but the people I worked
Yeah.
with was great. Besides working in the elements, that's
Yeah,
obviously
about to
not the
say, how was
best.
that?
But
Like I worked at Hurricane Harbor, and obviously I'm surrounded by water, so I feel like the heat wasn't too bad. And obviously they made sure we had sunscreen and water and stuff like that. They emphasized that a lot with us. But yeah, I can imagine like at Six Flags where you're just
you're
out
just
there in like
there.
a polo
You're
shirt.
just there, and a high yellow polo shirt, and
Yeah, like
it doesn't matter what it is, you're out there. So you get used to it. I think the worst was probably when we were working in the winter time, just standing out there in the cold, and like managers are chilling in the buildings and stuff like that. They'll bring out like hot chocolate and stuff, but like
and
that barely happened. So it was just like, dang, we're really sitting out here in this cold, dying basically. But hey, you get the right coworkers and stuff like that, and it makes all that time worthwhile. I really love
yeah,
my coworkers at Six Flags, and I hate that like obviously I'm not really in contact with much of them, but I still have them some of them on Facebook and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a good time.
oh yeah, definitely. Some friendships do last through like once you leave, but most of the times like even like the friend that I talked to at Honda a lot, like I barely left that job, but 6 months ago,
Mm.
I don't even talk to them anymore.
That used to be
It's
your
like
guy too. I feel like I used to
I
talk
know,
all the time.
I know, bro. It's like really the only person I really talk to like at work, and and I always had a feeling like you can kind of tell when some people are like, oh, this is a work friend.
Yeah,
This is not a person that
I'm gonna
if
go
I
out
left the job,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So you know how it be,
yep.
life.
But other than that, you ready to get the podcast started?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, bet. Getting the podcast started in 3, 2, 1. What up, everybody? This is your boy Chris,
This is Vic.
and welcome to Now Hear Me Out. This is episode number 92, and welcome to the podcast. If you're listening now, make sure you click on that like, subscribe button, click on that bell notification, so every time we post, you get notified. All right, Vic. So what's going on with you, man? How's your week been going?
Updates. See, got a haircut finally.
Hey,
And you
you know
notice I also shaved a little bit of the beard.
that's good for you, Vic. Don't
Well,
know how much of an update it is, but hey, you guys. Okay, so you know when Vic get a haircut, I'll let you guys know what the secret is. Why when Vic gets a haircut, he stops wearing a cap. So Vic, when he has the cap on, just know that his hair is not cut. But when he's not wearing the cap,
true,
he's
true.
feeling himself, and he's like, okay, I feel like I could shine a little bit more love. I
That's funny
understand.
because like literally like I got the invite from Kristen for the meeting, and I had a hat on. I was like, okay, let me turn on my computer. And I was turning it on. I took off my cap. I was like, gotta
So
show off the hair.
y'all need to see this haircut. I'm here for it. I'm getting my hair retwisted tomorrow. It's just ready to be retwisted.
But all I gotta say is like I'm glad that Leslie's brother got into haircutting because I was tired of paying for haircuts.
Hey, save you some money,
But
man.
I know. Um, besides that, also last week I think I mentioned that how eBay was kind of like doing pretty good, like booming.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like since I said that, it got like slow.
Damn, you
I jinxed myself.
jinx yourself, man.
Um, Also, on Thursday, I kind of watched a little bit of the NFL draft. I don't know if you caught any. We kind of have a story
Ah,
going along with it later.
not. I didn't watch too much of it. I caught like a couple of the players, just from
Yeah,
the Instagram page.
yeah. I mean, I'm not that big into like draft. I don't like we don't watch college football that much, so like
No, yeah, so
I kind of
draft.
really don't know them until they get into the NFL. But I had nothing going on, so I was like, let me see what's going on, see who the Cowboys get. And then the only other update I really have is so when we went back to San Antonio on Thursday, when we walked into that house, it was like burning hot, bro. We checked the temperature. That hole was at 98.
Sheesh.
Jesus, I know. And I think I mean, beforehand we were kind of having a little bit of AC issues, and we're like, okay, we'll see how it goes. And so we were having a little AC issues, and so I knew we were gonna be gone for a little bit. I don't know, maybe if I should have done this, but I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and turn off the AC
Okay.
because I didn't want. For my thought process was like, okay, we're gonna be gone for 2 weeks, and I don't want the AC's having issues already, so I felt like it was gonna work really hard to try to keep a low temperature, raising up my electricity bill a lot if it's not working properly.
Okay.
But anyway, so I turned it off.
Don't know how that works, Vic. I don't think that's how that works though. I don't know, but I don't think that's how that works.
Well, because like if it's having trouble like hitting 70, I don't know. I can't explain it,
Well,
but
if it's having trouble hitting 70, it's not the air conditioner is not going to work harder to do it. It's just not going to hit it, or it's going to say 70, and it's just what it is.
but
It
it
could
is
be working
it,
harder. You never know, but
well because it would never go off, right? Like once it hits 70, it kind of goes off a little bit,
yeah.
it
So
goes
I
back
guess
on.
yeah, I can see that. I can see that. So like the temperature would never actually reach what it's trying to get. So it's continually trying to hit that temperature. I can see
Yeah,
that.
there you go. So, anyways, I turned it off, and then we got home. It was burning hot, like bro. It was like you walked into a sauna. So obviously it was kind of late. We got there probably like midnight, 1:30, or
Okay.
midnight to one. You were like, bro, what are we gonna do? So obviously we didn't have family around. We couldn't just like pop up to someone's place. So we just kind of we turned it on obviously and opened up the doors, the windows, and everything. Luckily, it was kind of a cool night, so it did go down a little bit. The sleeping was a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously we had a little box fan, but we ended up turning that box fan towards Ava because obviously she can't handle the heat as much as we can, so
Mm-hmm.
gotta keep her cool at least. But the next day the AC.
Everybody for themselves.
uh,
Sleeps in
but
car.
next right the next day the AC guy did come. He looked at it. He said we were having some type of freon issue,
Okay.
and that he was gonna have to order some parts and get it fixed probably sometime next week, but we weren't gonna be there this week, so we're like, fuck, what are we gonna do? And he luckily he said, I'm gonna try to kind of fix it to where it works for throughout the weekend. And
Mm-hmm.
so after a while he got it and fixed it, and throughout the weekend we didn't really have any issues, which was good. But going back, I don't know what we're gonna be walking into. But he'll whenever we do go back, like at least he knows the issue, so he can fix it pretty quickly. But besides that, Texas heat ain't no joke, bro.
So I have questions because I'm pretty sure other people have questions too. And my question, Vic, is okay. So when the AC was fucked up, and you were like, "Turn it off," why didn't you just call somebody at that point to go get it fixed? Obviously, you knew something was going on with it. Why didn't y'all just call somebody?
No, okay, so the first time, okay, so when we noticed it was kind of broken, we did put an AC request in.
Okay.
Um, However, we were leaving like that next day, and so when they got back to us, they're like, "Oh, when can we come?" And it was like, "Bro, we're already gone."
Okay.
It's one of those places where like you have to be there for them to work. Like the people we're renting from, it's like a company, and they want you there if someone's going into your house.
Mm-hmm.
Which is annoying. Like I honestly, like I kind of get it, but I don't mind if like someone's coming in to fix something if I'm not there.
Yeah.
But so we did let them know, and then we told them we were gonna be out of town. That when we go back, we'll let them know.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, when we got back, we put the question, and they came the next day. So I mean, it's just kind of going back and forth thing to kind of throw it off.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand.
Was that your only question? You said
No,
questions,
no,
so
no. That was my
fire
kind of
away,
only
fire
question
away.
for the most part. I guess next question is, why didn't you just stay? I just
Not for real. We low key we were like, let's just go back. I texted Kristen too, like, bro, we might have to pull up at your house.
and ghosted,
But
bro. That shit fire. The wild.
I know, I know.
Nah. But cool.
What
Anything
about
else?
you? Got any updates?
Not really. So you ready to get up? Us playing.
I was like, all
not. But
right.
honestly, nah. I don't really have too many updates. Me and Kayla just trying to get this stuff for the wedding put together. A lot of wedding planning still. She found her. She found a dress on Friday. She just went on a limb and she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go look for a dress on Friday." I think Leslie reached out to her and told her about some. I guess they're having some sale at one of the places that she went to, and Kayla went, found a dress, and she was like, she had already scheduled to go dress shopping again on Saturday with her bridesmaids, some of her bridesmaids. So she was just like, "Hey, I found my dress. Do you think I should still go?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" I was like, kind of just use it for the, I guess for the experience with your bridesmaids type thing. I was like, "You already requested, the thing," and they said if she doesn't come or she cancels the appointment, then it's like $50. I'm like, shit, well, F that, like just go. So
Right.
she goes with her bridesmaids and she finds another dress. And she's like torn and she's like, I don't know if I should get it. I don't know if I shouldn't. And I was like, look, you're gonna look amazing, whatever you get. So I was like, I trust you. Well, obviously, you don't need my trust, but I was just like, you're gonna look amazing, and regardless, and just trying to give her that like confidence or whatever
Yep.
she chooses. But I was like, shoot, but she got a hell of a deal on that Friday dress, so I'm just like, You go with that Friday dress.
But
It
that
just
Friday
sounds,
dress.
hey, I don't know how you look at them, but that Friday dress looking kind of cute. For that price, anything cute. Nah, but she was getting a lot of opinions from a lot of people, and it was kind of very split. And I was like, look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about what anybody thinks but you. So
Mhm.
I think she started
Yeah,
getting a little confidence and just feeling better about the dress she picked in. And I was like, you're gonna look amazing, and just giving her that little boost of confidence, being that future husband that I can
I
be.
see you. I see you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always feel that way whenever you like you kind of set on one thing, but like you're like, oh, let me go check this out anyways, and then you just give yourself kind of too many options. And you're like,
Yeah.
for
I
me, I'm trying to go like going forward. I'm just trying to go like whatever option I kind of get first. Just kind of trust your gut.
Yeah, that first mind always doesn't steer you wrong. And I told her, I was like, the more you look, the more you can keep finding stuff, and
Yeah, you're gonna keep finding
you're
stuff.
gonna
Yeah,
always find something, and you're just gonna put yourself in this spot where you're just like, now you're just trying to chase, I don't want to say happiness in a way, but it's just like you're gonna put yourself in a bad position.
yeah, for sure. So, well,
But
I'm glad you found it though.
I'm happy for her. And then other than that, we went to a little kid's birthday party on Saturday after she came back. Stayed there for a little bit, came back home, and then Sunday we had our softball game. Lost horribly. Um, yeah, that was a really bad loss. It was like 20-4 or something like that. Uh, and yeah, and here we are this week. So it's just here we are.
Well, I guess we hop into these stories.
Yeah, and look at this. Vic let me read first this time. Yeah,
I
we had a conversation.
was
I was
about to the last
was
week.
like, we'll talk about it. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this first story. So the first story has to do with this husband and wife who already have 3 kids, and they actually find out that they're cousins after a DNA test. Wild. So a married couple with 3 children learned that they're actually cousins after taking a DNA test for a family tree project. Selena Quinones revealed the shocking news in a now viral TikTok video with over 4.4 million views since it was posted last month. Reactions to the clip range from confusion to outright negativity. Selena says there's a lot of negative comments. It's horrible. People keep asking, why would you do that? Why would you post this? But I take everything with a grain of salt. I'm a realtor, so I'm used to getting badgered all the time. So like, it's nothing. It says in 2006, Selena married her husband, Joseph Quinones. After just a couple months of dating each other, no one realized they were related, despite the families meeting many times since then. So even the families didn't know.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. Like, I kind of get the whole like, why would you? Like, I can see people's point of view where like, why would you post that? Like, just take it to the grave with you.
Yeah,
But I mean, at that point, what 3 kids in and they're already like all kind of like teenagers and stuff. Like, what are you gonna do? Leave, leave your husband?
right.
And just like,
Yeah, it's like, do I not love you no more because you're my cousin?
right? I mean, like, I get that there's probably that a little awkward phase for a little bit after this, and it's like you don't really know how to take it in, but like you're already too far AD just to leave just because
Because of the DNA test. Hey, all
yes,
right, we're already here.
she said all the kids have 10 toes and 10 fingers, so
Right. Oh, but she has said we ended up having our wedding, and even then, our grandmas seemed to be a lot alike, and they got along, but still nothing clicked. She said the couple learned about a relationship after taking DNA tests 10 years into the marriage. And it says Joseph added, "We didn't think about it. We never saw her at family reunions, funerals, or weddings." And then it says after Selena began assembling a family tree following My Heritage DNA test, the couple learned that they were related. This happened roughly 10 years into the marriage. She said, I ordered a DNA test that came in, and sure enough, we did our swabs, put them in the mail, and off they went. And then we got our results back, and I searched the family tree DNA, another part of the search, and saw him pop up there. And I go, oh no. And it says, upon learning of the revelation, Selena said she first doubted whether she and her husband should remain together, saying that she was in shock and was a little depressed over it, to be honest. It says wife claims she was unsure if the couple should remain together, but they ultimately decided to stay. He said, however, she claims they already had 3 kids together and all of them were healthy. Their sons are 15 and 13 years old, while their daughter is 10. They told the outlet, she said, I was in shock. I was a little depressed over it. And to be honest, this was after I already had 3 kids. All of them were healthy. And that, like Vic says, they have 10 fingers, 10 toes, but it was still a shock.
Yeah, and then I also see down here where it says that the DNS test shows that they're somewhere between second and seventh cousin,
Yeah,
meaning the
that's a
closest.
broad, bro. That's
that-
very broad.
Yeah, so it says meaning the closest common relative they would have in common would be a great grandparent.
Yeah. And look,
So like, how do you go on?
this is how I feel. I would rather it be a cousin than a sibling. Like if it was
Like
brother,
yeah,
sister, or I don't know, aunt or uncle, maybe like that would be like super fucking weird. But well, yeah, I feel like that'd be weird. But a cousin, and second, third, going down that line of cousins, like I feel like as much as that sucks, like I would rather that situation than to be marrying my sister that I just didn't know about. My sister from my dad's side, and I just never met her. And then like I've been seeing my dad this whole time at these reunions, and he ain't said shit.
yeah, bro. You ain't gonna say shit, nah, bro. You look happy.
do you,
But
fam?
is there like, say you weren't like you were barely started dating a girl, and you found out you were like fourth or fifth cousins? Would you end it there, or would you like?
That's a hard one. Probably.
Is
I
there
feel like if it's a fresh relationship, I feel like it's kind of fair to be like, yeah, hey, we're cousins. I don't know if this should be happening,
is
but
there like you had a degree of cousins where you'll be okay with it, like seventh cousin or eighth cousin or some shit like that?
I don't know, Vic. You're trying to push me to being like,
Yeah, I feel like I feel like in some way we're kind of all related, right?
yeah, that's what I was
Like,
thinking in some way, but like still, just hearing any kind of family name put to somebody, um, kind of puts that fruition. Like if I was to like take a DNA test and Caleb ended up being my seventh cousin, I'd just be like, well, so you just my seventh cousin, and we just ain't gonna talk about it. Like, but I'm definitely not coming out on TikTok and being like, oh yeah, I married my seventh cousin and we got kids together and we're married for this many years. I don't understand why people needed to know that. Like that's nobody's
hey,
business.
that's how you get views, bro.
I guess, but shoot, jump off a cliff or something and live. Like, let
Bro.
that. Can that not get you generate views?
I mean, I guess, but
Just say
no, that's crazy. But
go rob a store and then say it was a joke. I don't know.
just say just kidding, bro. You
Just
won't get
kidding.
arrested.
Just kidding, bro. This gun wasn't even real.
No, but I guess the only advice I have for you guys is don't try to pick up anybody at that family reunion.
Because they might be related.
But I guess going on to the next story. So yeah, like I said, I was kind of watching the draft on Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
and the first day of the draft is just like the first round. And so this story kind of happened a couple days later. But our team, America's team, not just our team, America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, picked up Deuce Vaughn, who was actually the son of one of the team scout um, in the draft. So Deuce Vaughn won't have to look far from a familiar face with his new team, the Dallas Cowboys. On Saturday, Dallas took running back Vaughn, who measured at 5'5" at the combine, with the 35th pick of the sixth round in the 2023 NFL Draft. Vaughn's father, Chris, is currently the assistant director of college scouting for the team. After the choice, cameras showed Chris Vaughn hugging Cowboys COO and executive vice president Stephen Jones and owner and general manager Jerry Jones. NFL Network draft analyst Daniel Jeremiah said Vaughn removed himself from the Cowboys draft room during the deliberations of his son. So yeah, you know, it's pretty like a heartwarming story. And I kind of was listening to the radio, like the talk about the Dallas Cowboys, and they were saying that the father left the room, and he was calling his son to like consult him because it's like the sixth round and he hasn't been drafted yet. So like he's just his son was kind of down, so he's kind of giving him his pep talk.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when like they play a little audio where like you hear Jerry and Mike McCarthy kind of talking about this guy, and like uh Mike or Jerry Jones is asking Mike McCarthy like, are you this like, are you down for this? Is this what we're gonna do? And they were both on board. And um yeah, so then he came back in, and then the father actually calls his son to like tell him that he's been drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. He's like, how would you feel about coming to work with me next week? He's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's how that little clip.
Yeah, so it was a little heartwarming. Even like I saw it on TikTok, and I was looking at the comments, and there was Eagles fans in there saying like, bro, this is a nice story. They were like, it's hard for me to like the story because it's Dallas Cowboys, but I have to. So,
I have to.
but I guess my only question, kind of, for you is like, I get it. I mean, obviously, if he wasn't a good player, they wouldn't draft him. They didn't see potential. But like, at what point, like, it's like for them, he's a sixth round pick, and how many like do you think they'll kind of cut him a little bit more slack because he's the son of the scouting person, or do you think they're gonna try to keep like completely business?
I'm like, and that's what I'm curious about. Jerry Jones is a family man, if
Yeah.
anything. So I feel like, in a way, even if he didn't really feel like this, he's small. He's 5'5", and 5'5" running back, man. You don't see many of those in NFL.
Hmm.
So to be at that magnitude and stuff like that, I feel like a big part of why he got drafted was because he was still available, and he was the son of one of the scouts.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think that's kind of what I see. Like, I feel like a big part of that is because he was the son.
Yeah, I mean, and it was a sixth round, so it's not like they give like they spent their first round draft pick on him or anything.
Exactly. So at that point, it's just like, who's there, who's left,
And he's
and
yeah.
now he still got to prove himself to stay on the starting roster, or stay on the roster. So what is it, 52?
I want to
52?
say yeah, because I think they have there's 56 active roster, but they can only take 52 the game or something, some shit like
Mm-hmm.
that.
So he still got to make that part of the team. So he still got to prove himself. All these people who get drafted, they're not for sure on the team. More than likely,
Yeah.
usually the person who usually is the first draft pick. But even then, they still got to prove their spot. But I'm looking forward to see what we do next year.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, it is like the story is heartwarming, and it'd be kind of cool just to kind of follow along. But I am a little worried, like a year from now, he'll be like playing the XFL or some shit. But I mean, nothing wrong with that. I mean, he wasn't All-American in 2022. But it definitely was something that I feel they kind of just wanted a little heartwarming story.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Where just freeze.
Yeah, you froze, bro.
I know you froze, bro. Where'd I freeze at?
I don't know.
Of course.
It's a goofy looking face, that's for sure. Yeah, you're still like buffering, bro.
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're like going in and out.
All right. Should I leave and come back again?
No, you're good now.
Because I heard you say, "Hey, Vic." Let's see. Yeah.
I guess I don't know, bro.
Yeah, well, okay, so
I saw your stuff be making it so hard to edit.
my bad. What were we though? I heard you say, "Hey, Vic," and then you froze, but apparently I froze.
Yeah, it was definitely still going on my end.
So could you hear me or no?
No, I can't hear a word you said. The last part you had
After what?
said, it was just like a whole bunch of mumble, and then you just stop moving and you stop talking. So
Let's see.
all
Go
right,
Cowboys.
I guess I'll try to figure some way
Little
to
tech difficulty there.
find some way to put that in there. But anyways, yeah, go Cowboys, and
Uh,
we got people drafted.
Hopefully, we actually make some other moves. But
You're- oh my god,
what happened?
your internet's so bad right now.
Is it?
Yes,
Let me see if I can exit some of these apps or something.
I swear some of these little freeze frames are like you looking like a drunk. Well, anyways, go ahead and start your next story, Vic.
All right, moving on to our other story. Um, a Taco Bell employee in Dallas violates a customer. And we talked about this a little before. The word they use here, which is violate, I feel like was a little bit too much. But I'm gonna go ahead and read the story and let me know what you think.
He said not violate, it's sexually harassed. I'm just playing. That's just
Let me skip some of the beginning of this. But in a recent incident at a Taco Bell drive-thru in Dallas, Texas, a heated argument broke out between an employee and a customer. The incident reportedly began with the customer started the conversation with, "Why don't you come out with your own effing eyes and take a look?" Now,
as you guys can tell, we're having a lot of technical difficulties, and so we're probably gonna have to end this podcast early today. Um, Usually I have Vic do the spiel, but he keeps freezing so much. I don't know if he can.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
All right,
Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Now hear me out, KV.
KV.
Go ahead and make sure to email us any stories, comments, questions,
Concerns at nowhearmeout.kv.
KV
KV.
at gmail.com. Go ahead and subscribe and like our YouTube at Chris and Vic (NHMO).
NHMO.
And go ahead and leave us 5 stars on iTunes
5 stars.
and follow me on TikTok, WeirdVic_Flips. Follow the podcast on TikTok at Now Hear Me Out Podcast. And make sure to check out our spread shop at nowhearmeout.myspreadshop.com.
Cool. And you guys can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Discord, all that good stuff at Smoke Chris where the E's are threes. That's Smoke Chris where the E's are threes. Again, I apologize for all the technical difficulties we are going through and experiencing. But hey, nonetheless, we got through a couple stories, and I'll try to make something shake with this, what we got. But other than that, we're out of here. We'll catch you guys next week, and hopefully our equipment is working a lot better. But until next week, we'll catch you guys next time. we'll take we'll hit you guys. Damn it, Vic, you messed me up. But we'll catch you guys next week. See y'all. Much love, and till next time, we're out of here. Peace.